Hello, grade sixes. We are continuing on with algebra, and today we are going to play a game. So I have some bowls here, and this is something you can do at home with someone if you want to. So you could use cups or bowls or envelopes or paper bags, and you just need something that you can put inside. So I have these little base 10 math cubes, but you could use buttons or coins, or I have lots of bread tags, so you could use something like that. If you want, just small little items that you can place in the bowls or cups. So what we're going to do is I've placed an unknown amount of cubes in these bowls. I know what they are, but you don't know, so you're going to have to figure out what is in here. So if I tell you, okay, I have 3 bowls and I've placed 15 cubes or 15 counters in these bowls. Each bowl has the same amount of counters, so they each have the same amount, and all together there's 15. How many would there be in each bowl? So how would you find out? So you know there's 15, so you can divide by 3, and you can find out there's 5 in each bowl. Okay, so you can play a few rounds of this, and I'm sure you'll catch on pretty quickly. Okay, so don't watch while I put this in here. Okay, so now this time I have 6 bowls, and again, an unknown amount. So the things that you know are that there's 6 bowls, and I will also tell you that there are 18 counters within these 6 bowls. So how many counters are in each bowl if they all have the exact same amount? So 18 altogether, and each bowl has 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So if you knew there were 18, you could skip count, and you could try to guess. You could say, oh, maybe there's 2, or maybe there's 4, and you could skip count up and see if you get to it. Or you can say 18 divided by 6 is 3, and if you know your multiplication tables, you will get that pretty quickly. Okay, let's try one more, and then we'll make it a little more difficult, okay? Okay, so now I have 7 bowls, and altogether I have 28 counters. So can you figure out what the unknown amount is in each bowl? So 28 all divided up into 7 bowls. So there are 4 counters in each. Okay, and you can just think 28 divided by 7, or you could skip count by 4s and see if that's correct. If you had an estimate, you would be right. Okay, so let's make this a little more difficult. Okay, so don't watch, put some more or fewer in here. Okay, so I have 7 bowls, and this time I'm going to leave some outside, okay? So put them somewhere you can see them. No, can't see them. You see that? Yeah, so there's 5 there, so I have 7 bowls, and there's 5 on the outside, and altogether I have placed 40 cubes, okay? So all together, including these 5, there are 40 cubes here. So how many did I place? So you can think, so before you could just divide the total number by the number of bowls. Now we have to do something with this. So what you can do is, if you know all together there's 40, let's just get rid of these 5 because they're not really helping us. So if we take away 5 from here, then we have to take away 5 from the 40, because then if I get rid of this, I won't have placed 40, I'll have placed 35. So now there's 35 counters divided up amongst 7 bowls. So how many are in each bowl? So 35 divided by 7 is 5. Good. Okay, let's try one more of those. Okay, so now I have 4 bowls, and I'm going to put, let's see, 12 cubes out here, okay? So there's 12. So I'll line those up nicely so you can see. So I could divide those up in 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 3, 2 groups of 6, 6 groups of 12, 1 group of 12, 2 groups of 6, 6 groups of 2. Okay, anyway, 12 is a really nice number because it has so many factors that go evenly into it. Okay, so there's 12 there, and we have 4 bowls, and so altogether I have used 24 counters. So how are we going to find out what's in there? I can't just divide 24 by 4 because I have to remember I have 12 here. So let's take this 12 away so it can simplify things. So if I use 24 altogether and 12 of them are I'm going to get rid of them, then there must be 12 within these bowls, right? So now we can say 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, so now let's bring in some conversation about algebra here. So when we've talked about something that we don't know, like 3 plus x equals 5, then we know x must be 2. What is the unknown value here? So we knew that there were 24 altogether. We knew that there were 4 bowls. What we don't know is how many are in each bowl. So what's in each bowl is what we'll call that the x value, okay? So if we have, let's just change this here. Okay, so if I had 3 bowls with an unknown amount of cubes, just so you don't know how many are in here, then the x is what is in the bowl. So how many x's do I have? I have 1x here, 1x here, and 1x here. So we could call that 3x, okay? And what if we had 5 outside of the bowls? So now we have 3x plus 5, okay? So we could write that in an equation, 3x plus 5. So this is our constant amount. We know that's just 5. We don't know what the x is, so that's called a variable. Okay, so, and the fact that we have 3 bowls, that's called a coefficient. Now, what if I said all together, I have 35, I have used 35 counters. So I'm going to put some more in here to make that true. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we have a full equation. So we have 3x plus 5 equals 35. And we are able to figure out what that is now. So 3x plus 5 is 35. So why don't we get rid of this 5, because that will simplify things. So if we get rid of these 5, then we haven't really used 35 anymore, have we? We've used 30. So now 30 divided amongst 3 bowls evenly. So 30 divided by 3, how many will be in each? 10. So we will have 10 in each one. And so 10, 20, 30 plus that 5 makes 35. So I'm going to grab my board and draw you a quick picture to show you what that looks like again, and then I will assign you your homework. So hold on 1 second. let's try this. Hopefully I won't drop this. Okay, so I'm going to draw these bowls. 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, the fact that we don't know what is in the bowls, we're going to call that number x. So did we have 3? No. Oops, I drew too many. Let's get rid of this one. So we have 3 bowls, and the value inside is an x. And we have 3 of these bowls, so that's 3x. Now outside of the bowls, we still had 5 cubes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's where we would say 3x plus 5 equals 35. So remember that there's cubes in each of these. So how many cubes would there be in each? So if there's 5 here, and then there's still 30 left, then each of these would have to have 10 cubes, right? So we can use these equations, these algebraic equations, to help us solve these problems of what is this unknown value. And we keep this x until we find out what the answer is. So for homework, you guys are going to work on page 73. And there's a similar game modeled on the page for you with paper bags and apples. So you can try that. So you're going to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. So I hope you enjoy that. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.